You remember when Tiger Woods got caught smashing with all those women, and then the entire country was suddenly talking about his sex life? Now, the story obviously starts with Tiger. And Tiger's 33 during this time, and he's living in Florida, and you already know that he's a professional golfer. And he's really good at what he does. And at this point, he's won 14 major championships. This dude's probably the most recognized golfer in the world. But he has a problem. He really, really likes smashing. He likes it so much that he keeps getting involved with different women that he meets in like clubs or around his home or just anywhere he can, and he hooks up with them. And these aren't like famous, well-known women. Most of these are just everyday women that he meets in like his daily life. But anyway, one night in 2009, Tiger is in New York City at a nightclub. And he's there with a group, but he's just chilling by himself. And that is when this woman notices him, Rachel. Rachel is the VIP hostess of the club. And she's like, oh shit, that's Tiger Woods. So she walks up to him and asks if he needs anything. And they start chatting, and she thinks Tiger kind of fine. And Tiger thinks she kind of fine, and so he gets her number. Later, Tiger texts her, and he tells her that he wants to see her. So she flies to Orlando to meet him. And of course, they smash. Now, normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. You know, consenting adults hook up all the time. But Tiger is actually married and has a kid. Not only that, but his wife is pregnant with his other kid. However, Tiger doesn't seem to care. And I guess Rachel doesn't either. So they keep meeting up in various places and smashing. Over and over and over again. They do this for months. But then things start to get complicated. Because one day, Tiger is in Melbourne, Australia, competing in a golf tournament. And he hits up Rachel and he tells her to fly out and meet him there. And Rachel's like, say less! So she flies from New York all the way down to Melbourne. And she gets to the hotel. Now, she's staying in the same hotel Tiger is staying at. But she's on a different floor, so that it doesn't look like they're there together. But when she gets there, she doesn't go right to her room. She goes to Tiger's. Now, here's the problem with all that. Rachel doesn't know that she's being followed. Apparently, reporters from the National Enquirer had been tracking her and Tiger's affair for a while. And if you're not from the US, the National Enquirer is like the trashiest of trashy tabloid magazines. So these tabloid reporters are following her and they're documenting everything. They're low-key taking pictures of her, arriving at the hotel, stuff like that. And at one point, one reporter even goes into the hotel and he gets in the elevator while she's in that same elevator. And then he follows her and he watches her walk straight over to Tiger's room. Then this guy confronts her like, hey, are you here to smash with Tiger Woods? And of course, Rachel says no, but then word gets back to Tiger that this tabloid knows about their affair. And that a story is probably about to come out, and it's gonna be huge. So eventually, Tiger is back in Florida, where he lives, and he's gotta break this news to his wife that the story's about to come out. And his wife is this woman, Elin. And at this point, Elin is no longer pregnant, she's had the baby. So Tiger tells her that, the tabloids are about to publish a story about me having an affair, but it's fake news. And to make the story believable, he sets up a call between Elin and Rachel. And he had spoken to Rachel beforehand, and he asked her to deny the whole affair, and Rachel does. On the phone call, she manages to convince Elin that she is not, in fact, smashing with Tiger, that they're just friends. And Elin, she believes the both of them. But then, about a week later, the National Enquirer story drops, and they publish everything that they know. And of course, this news gets back to Elin, and she reads it, and she knows something feels off, like maybe her husband really has been cheating. So she decides to investigate and find out the truth herself. A few days later, Tiger is at home, and he takes some Ambien and Vicodin, and he passes out in his bed. While he's out, Elin takes his phone, and she starts going through it. And that is when she finds a contact that she doesn't recognize. So she texts this number, and she says, I miss you. When are we seeing each other again? Now, of course, that number is actually Rachel's number. So Rachel texts back thinking that it's Tiger. Then Elin calls the number, And Rachel picks up. She's like, "Hey, babe, I thought you went to sleep." And Elin immediately recognizes Rachel's voice. And now she knows that the media was right. Both Tiger and Rachel had lied to her about their affair. And that is when she just snaps. She storms into the bedroom and she confronts Tiger and she screams at him loud enough to wake him up from his Ambien nap. Then she grabs a golf club. And Tiger sees Elin with this golf club, allegedly about to hit him, and he realizes he needs to get the fuck out of there fast. So he grabs his car keys and he runs to the garage and he jumps in his SUV and skirt, he drives away from his compound. And remember, he's still all high from all that Ambien he took. So just as he's about to leave the compound, bam, he crashes into a fire hydrant, then kaboom, he hits a nearby tree. And Elin, she's been following him. So she sees him crash, and she runs up to the crashed SUV with that golf club she has, and bam, bam, she starts busting out the rear windows. Now, Elin claims that she was merely trying to rescue Tiger after this car crash, but everyone else speculates that she busted out those windows because she was mad at him for cheating. But, believe what you want. Regardless, here's a picture of the SUV crashed into the tree. Now, pretty quickly, word of this accident makes the news, and the media starts piecing everything together, and they learn that Elin was in fact chasing him with a golf club because of these cheating allegations. And this story blows the fuck up. I mean, every media outlet is covering it. The whole country is talking about it. South Park makes fun of it in one of their episodes. Saturday Night Live parodies the whole situation. And this is easily one of the biggest stories of that year. Like it felt like Tiger Woods was cheating on all of us. But anyway, then, in the days following that infamous car crash, another woman comes forward. And she says, "I too had an affair with Tiger." And then another comes forward, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. And within a period of a few days, more than 14 women come out and admit to having an affair with Tiger while he was married. And I guess during this time, poor Elin, she's trying to figure out what to do. I mean, he is a serial cheater, but he's also the father of her 2 children. So leaving him isn't going to be easy for her emotionally. So she decides to see if they can work it out. And he goes and checks himself into a sex rehab clinic or something. And a few months pass. And that is when the tabloids start reporting on a 15th mistress. And that mistress just happens to be the daughter of Tiger and Elin's next door neighbor, a young woman who is 21 now, but whom they had known since she was a teenager. And that revelation is just too much for Elin, and she finally decides that she wants a divorce. And so they do. They end up getting a divorce. And at the end of it all, 15 or so women came forward, but allegedly he was with around 120 women during their 5-year marriage. Like, damn, how does one even have the time